I think Rogers kept showing me some of his checks in his story, and I kind of thought about it. I'm like, man, that's really similar how I got started wholesaling real estate, and it was kind of funny that like talking to them before, right? Like your story is very similar to how I kind of got started in wholesaling, and it's very niche specific, but it's pretty cool. So I don't know who wants to go first, but like, what's your story getting into wholesaling real estate?
Yeah, I'll start us off. So it was actually we were in the locker room when we were both at school at OU, and I heard Antonio like from around the corner talk about like, yeah, he was like knocking on someone's door trying to make him an offer, and then just hearing all these horrible stories of him getting like yelled at and stuff. And before that, I had maybe listened to a few like rough podcasts about wholesaling. And so then Antonio and I started talking about that. He was trying to do, he was basically knocking on all the pre-foreclosure stores, having a terrible time. And I kind of knew what he was trying to do. And so we just started talking, and, we figured out, we found your channel, and you really were preaching cold calling. So we started cold calling. Antonio and I would take shifts in between practices to cold call, just a single line dialer. And then we would be texting like in the evening. And it took us probably about 6 months to get our first deal. And we were really bad at it. But then after the first deal, we could afford to hire a VA, extend on the dialer. But really, for those first 6 months, it was just sending back and forth your content, because we were, when you're cold calling, it's really hard to tell if you're getting anywhere. But then all your videos kept preaching like the numbers it takes to get a deal. And so anytime one of us would be like stressing, like, man, is this really going to work? We just cite like, well, Zach says you got to do this many calls, and we've only done this many. And so we'd keep ripping it, or we'd get an appointment. We'd go on it all excited, and then it'd fail. It's like, well, it probably takes about 5 appointments. And so we just kept listening to the numbers and just would keep referencing back to your stuff until we started to get traction.
Okay. So, all right. So I guess Antonio started first, and then you kind of worked with him together, and then 6 months to get your first deal. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that 6 months is rough. I mean, first and foremost, that absolutely sucks. So,
Yeah.
Antonio, kind of walk me through that whole journey from how you kind of learned what wholesaling was, that 6 months working with him, and then ultimately up to that first deal.
Yeah. So the first 6 months was really rough.